Hello, Jenny from So Confident here, and today I'm going to show you how to make a fabulous bolster cushion out of some gorgeous Voyage Maison fabric. Don't need a pattern, just need a bit of Voyage Maison fabric, probably half a metre. I'd get a metre just to be sure so you can get to zip and set square, sewing machine, some form of chalk, and that should be it. We are going to be covering this bolster cushion in some gorgeous Voyage Maison fabric. This is called Watermelon. It's called Nada Print Watermelon, and it's stunning. It's like pinks and kind of goldy colours. It's so nice. We'll be chalking out a wee pattern. You can either do it on paper first and then you've got a pattern to use again, or you can chalk straight onto the wrong side of your fabric. I'm just going to chalk onto my fabric. The bolster cushion is made out of two circular pieces of fabric at either end and one rectangular piece that goes right round the centre part of the cushion, and then we'll have a wee bit for our zip just in the centre somewhere. So it's two circles and a rectangle, so we need to measure your cushion. These do come in different sizes. So let's see. So that is coming in at 47. This is coming in at 68. I'm just going to write that down. So when I'm chalking my rectangular piece, I want to add 1 centimetre seam allowance all the way around, all the outside of my piece. So 47 was that measurement there, wasn't it? Yes. So 47 needs a centimetre seam allowance on this side and a centimetre seam allowance on this side. So 47 becomes 49. And 68 becomes 70. So that's my rectangle, and these are in centimetres, but you can measure in inches if that's what you prefer. Then, this bit's hard to film because it is the end of this cushion. This circular bit, we're going to take the diameter . Obviously it's squashy, so it's not that easy to do. Let me just see if I can squash this down so you can see what I'm doing. So that is probably looking at 20. I have made a cushion before for this particular, 20. So again, I want to add a seam allowance onto this bit and a seam allowance onto this bit, so 20 will become 22 in diameter, and I will show you how to chalk out a perfect circle on your fabric as well. For this next bit, I'm going to chalk my pieces onto my fabric. I'm going to use a set square, and I've got my favourite little Choco liner, which is like a little roller ball of chalk, so it gives you a really nice little edge, which I love. The set square is good for if you're ever chalking out squares or rectangles, because it helps you get that nice angle. I'm going to start over at my selvage because I can see there is a line here that I can start with. I'm just going to chalk in my starting point. Then I'm going to see, what was it, 49 by 70. Okay, so I'm going to go across by 70, I think. We do sell these at So Confident. I will pop a wee link in the description if you fancy one. So that's 40. to chalk your circle, what I do is I make like a star shape first of all that is my diameter, and then I just freehand a circle around those points. So let's see, so I know that the diameter is 20, so 22 with seam allowance. So let's just start with that. I'm just going to start with a line. Okay, pick a centre point. So 11 that way and 11 that way. Another reason why these set squares are really good is that they have a centre point and then your measurements go out from the centre, so it's handy for this. Then I'm going to do the same here, so 11. And 11. And through the centre, so just keep going round until you're happy you have enough points for you to comfortably draw a circle. There's my circle. I'm going to cut these pieces out and then I will use this as a template to cut another one. I've cut out my 3 pieces and I've also overlocked my raw edges. Most upholstery curtainy fabric frays quite badly, so this one actually isn't too bad, but I'm going to I don't want this to fray on the inside. I'll never be able to take it out and wash it. So overlock or zigzag your raw edges. Then take your rectangular piece and take the two shorter edges. So I've got 2 edges here that are 49. So I'm going to take my 49 edge and put it right sides together against my other 49 edge. This is where my zip goes, in here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pop a couple of pins in, to keep it in place. And then with a 1 centimetre seam allowance, I'm going to come along this edge with a long stitch, almost as if it's like a basting stitch I want to put in. So I'm going to I'm on a straight stitch, but I'm going to put my stitch length to a 4 or a 5. Because we're going to have to unpick most of this. Okay, 1 centimetre. There's no need to do a back tack because we'll be taking this out mostly. You can press this open now. I'm going to just flip this round. You can do it with an iron. This actually is pressing no bother, just with my fingers. So press that open, then grab your zip, and basically we're going to be sewing the zip in with the teeth side down. Like that. So one side of the zip will get stitched into one side of the seam allowance, other side of the zip, other side of the seam allowance. This zip's quite wide actually, you might want to give yourself a bigger seam allowance on here, but I should be okay. My zip is longer than my cushion as well, which is ideal. I have done this before where my zip's been like that kind of size, and that works okay as well, a couple centimetres either side. Any smaller than that and you struggle to fit your cushion pad in, so you want it to be more or less the length. And then I'm going to stitch this in. I'm probably going to put my zip foot on just to be on the safe side. At this point here, my puller is here actually, so I'm going to just move that out of the way a little bit because it'll be super difficult to unzip this if I don't leave enough space for that wee puller, so bear that in mind. I'm going to flip this over so that it is right sides out. I'm going to find my seam. I'm going to measure in a couple of centimetres here. Let's go for 3 centimetres. And then from that 3 centimetre point, I'm going to unpick from there until 3 centimetres here, right? So start unpicking. It will reveal your zip. You could in theory run your unpicker along here, but you do need to be careful. I have ripped fabric doing that before, so just be careful. And then this end I'm going to measure my 3 centimetres again, so I don't go too far. Okay. Just make sure your zip works. You've got lots of little thready bits you might want to pull out in case it gets caught in your zip. What we now have to do is go over the end bits because they were just a tacking stitch there and there with a stitch that's not got a long length. So straight stitch but back to 2.5 is where I normally have mine. I'm just going to go over that little stitch there just to strengthen it. Same at the other side. Now we want to find our halfway points and our quarter points of our end bit here, this side, and of our circular pieces so that we can match them up. So it's almost like we're making our own notches here. I'll start on my cushion first, main cushion bit. So my zip is one of the halfway points, which means this bit here is another halfway point. I'm just going to mark it with a bit of chalk. And then if I put my zip and that point together, that gives me my quarter points at either side here. So I'm going to mark them with chalk as well. Same on this side. And then on these pieces, I'm going to go with what way up my fabric, want my fabric to go, so I'll do that one. Put that sideways. Okay, I'll go for that then. So I'm going to fold it in half. Which will give me my halfway points. And then I'm going to fold it in half the other way, not those bits. And that will give me my quarter points. And then do the same on the other circular piece. In fact, I don't even have to because I chalked this one out so I can see that. There's one. When I'm doing this next bit, make sure your zip is open a little bit. So, right sides together, matching my notches that I just made. If you've got a particular way up that you want your pattern to go, I'm going to keep it matching so it goes the same way. Just be mindful of that. Let's start pinning this in place. Then you might have to stretch these a little bit to make them fit, but we want to start pinning these bits together as well. So we'll be pinning all the way around the circumference of our circular piece. Okay, I'm going to stitch this in with my 1 centimetre seam allowance. At the end here, make sure you stitch right over the zip, so that'll stop us losing our puller. And then I'm going to do exactly the same on the other side. Once you've stitched all the way around the end circular bits, you can turn it out. You can cut this bit off if you like, because we've stitched over there, so we should be able to just cut this off. You have your bolster cushion cover. Let's pop this in. And there we have your finished bolster cushion.